Welcome. I am your Shadow Mistress. Here's a tale I've collected from the Shadow Realm. When I was in my early teens, I belonged to a church group in my town. I wasn't particularly religious, but this youth group was always doing fun outings to amusement parks, concerts, and things like that. But the thing that everyone looked forward to was an annual week-long camping trip during the summer. This particular outing was along the banks of a huge lake. The campground was pretty remote, and there were dense trees and brush all the way up to the banks of the lake. Our supervision was pretty lax, and everyone broke off into smaller groups within the campsite. I joined up with two friends, and we staked a campsite pretty close to the lake, and as far as the rest of the groups as we could. There were a couple of older kids who used to pick on us, so we wanted to be as far from them as possible. After an afternoon of fishing from the shore, we settled down for the night. In the evening, you could hear the laughter, talking, and singing of the other groups. The majority of the campers were more than 50 yards inland from us. As the night wore on, the noise went away. Everyone was pretty tired after the long trip up here. The lake itself was pretty quiet and peaceful, and I drifted off to sleep. I'm not sure what time it was when I awoke, but it must have been late because our fire was nearly out. I heard sloshing from the bank of the lake, like something swimming nearby. I heard that this lake had some large sturgeon and figured that's what it was. After a moment, though, I heard more noise in the water. I looked over at my two friends who were bundled up in their sleeping bags, fast asleep. What startled me next was an unmistakable sound of wood scraping against the shore. I had a flashlight tucked in my bag, so I grabbed it and aimed it at the bank of the lake. The only thing I saw was the smooth glass surface of the water. There was no person, boat, or anything that could have made the sounds. As soon as I turned the light off, I heard footsteps squishing against the gravel of the shore. For a second, I thought it might be some other campers messing with us. Then I heard talking. The strange thing was it was in a language I didn't understand or even recognize. Now I was freaked, as it sounded like there were at least 4 of them just outside our campsite. I quickly lunged at my friends to wake them. I could hear the snapping of twigs as the voices approached. I quickly grabbed my light again and pointed it forward. There was nothing there. The one friend awoke and asked what was happening. I told him that I heard people approaching our camp. He ignored me and went back to sleep. I know it wasn't a dream because I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day we went on a formal guided tour of the area led by a park ranger. One of the stops was a visitor center, which had a sort of mini museum. One of the exhibits detailed the Native American tribe that used to live in this area. What caught my attention was a painting of several natives paddling in a canoe on the lake. Apparently, they were master fishermen who lived along the banks. Most of them were killed by settlers or fled inland. It was then that everything clicked. The sound of the canoe coming ashore, the strange language I didn't recognize. It was the souls of the natives who once lived here. I have no proof, but I know that's who visited that night. I hope you enjoyed your visit to the Shadow Realm, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I am the Shadow Mistress, and I'll see you again in the Shadow Realm.